Warriors Unite! Back with another episode of Vega Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. Hope you guys are doing well, my friends. Hope you guys are conquesting yourselves and conquesting things around you under God's purposes. It is great to be with you another evening. This is a Thursday evening in the Midwest. I hope you guys are doing well. It is nice to be able to kind of talk with you guys again. Just finished some work, and I'm going to go ahead and go probably take a swim in the pool and work through some things and kind of get ready for the next day. But in the meantime, let's do a video here talking about a topic. Now, I'm going to focus on, I know I was going to say wet dreams. We'll save that for the next one. I'm going to focus on realizing your true friends. Harold Mereweather had sent this to me a few weeks ago, and I want to make sure I cover this because it's something that kind of hit my point, hit me the other day, and I want to kind of talk about this one next. But before we do that, let's do some shout outs here. Gio the Genius, thank you, my friend. Lykkos, thank you. That guy, thank you. Alexander Jesus Christ Fowler, thank you. J.M.888, thank you, my friend. Jimi Hendrix Jr. says, I'm looking younger. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that a great deal. Always is nice. Like I said, I'm always thankful that I found that book, Kendler's Ancient Secrets of the Fountain of Youth, because that's something back in 1998 that's hit me. And that didn't really go into effect until about 5 years ago, but now it's tremendous. So it's great. Thank you, Jimmy. Johnnie, thank you, my friend. Gio the Genius, thank you again. Gematria, thank you. 21 days. Keep it up, my friend. Keep it up, pal. God's Gladiator, thank you. Keef Chief1, thank you. Knowledge Berakah, thank you. Damico, thank you. Shadowyshutterbug, thank you, my friend. And Shutterbug, I mean. And then Real Spencer Robert, thank you. All right, so 2-minute mark. Here's a question. You will realize your true friends under Semen Retention. How right Harold is. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. I agree with Harold 100% on this. Why is this the case? Well, let's talk about this a little bit. So as we focusing on retention, let's take a step back a little bit and talk about this. So as we are looking at life, the reason why we focus on this whole idea of retention and why over 100 years ago, 500 years ago, a lot of the ancient wisdom, the ancient ones, they focused on this because they realized the truth that I think that now people sometimes in the United States are starting to be realized a little bit too, especially in the Western world. The Eastern world, I think, has known a lot about these things. If you're talking about brahmacharya, you're talking about Sufism. We've had celibacy, but people never realized why, except if you were in the religious orders and things like that. The idea is when you're focusing on something like this, you're focusing on keeping energy within you. So we're all made of energy. And I know I've said this many times, taught physics classes in high school, and we realized through Newton's law that you cannot create or you cannot destroy energy. So as a result of that, the energy goes somewhere. You look at an ice cube, it melts, it evaporates, it just doesn't disappear. It goes up, something happens to it, evaporates and goes somewhere into something else, goes into a gas. So everything changes and is transferred to something else. But that also says that we have energy inside of us. And as a result of the energy inside of us, we are communicating energy out. Now, it's almost like having a frequency. You're communicating your energy level on a daily basis to people as you walk around. Now, the world will tell you this is all wrong, and what Vigor Warrior 2 is saying is all wrong, and that you should be releasing all the time. You'll become healthier all the time. I'm going to tell you, warriors, you can just walking down the street, look at people, and you can tell those people have released. Because those people are not strong looking, they don't look healthy, and when they're in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, they look like they're about ready to die over, like a zombie. And because I think over the years people have gotten into this pattern of saying, okay, you can get better and you can keep health by doing this and doing that. I don't know, and maybe I'm the one that's wrong, but those people A lot of these people look really sickly to me, and I see it all the time. People who are trying to be healthy, doing this and doing this, they don't have that because I don't think they're keeping their energy. I could be wrong. But when you see people who are keeping their energy, they're almost like God-like looking, especially over a period of time. So when I see this, when I look at this, there's a big difference between people who are holding on to their energy and transmuting it than people who are just letting it go all the time for one reason or another one. And I'm talking about even people edging and people who are, doing those type of things and have lustful thoughts. I think this is an epidemic in our world. This is why I talk about this stuff a lot on the channel. This is an epidemic. People are being controlled by their lack of self-control, and they cannot do anything about it because they can't control their nature. They have no idea how to control their nature. And if you don't practice something like even NoFap to start with, and you work yourself up to monk mode, then you're never going to be able to kind of solve this issue, and you'll be like one of those other thousands, 100,000 of people walking around, millions of people, who look like they're zombies walking around, emaciated. There's no strength to them at all. And I think when you look at this, you have to kind of think to yourself, okay, why is this happening? I believe it's happening because you're losing your energy, and now you're communicating an energy that is low frequency. So as a result of that, you're going to draw people to you that have low frequency. Or you'll draw people to you that want something from you because they know they can take advantage of a person who has low frequency. So, give an example of women and men. Again, you can see this all the time. A woman might marry a man who has got low energy, could be a simp, could not be a simp, but probably a simp. And that person is going to just, they're going to, honor, look up to this woman to the point where they're basically kind of simping their behavior and energy out, and they can't have no backbone, right? And if you allow this to happen, I saw a good video on this the other day. If you allow this to happen, and there's a good video talking about mother-in-laws and wives and things like that. If you lose your energy, you now become weaker, and you let other people control you. This is what happens all the time, and I've seen it all the time. When I was in the state years ago, this happened to me as well. So when you're focusing on trying to look at this, you, out of respect for your wife, your mother-in-law, anybody else you're talking about, you need to be a strong male. And don't listen to the people who are telling you out there, release and everything, you're going to be healthier and all this kind of stuff that on television, on the internet. They're trying to get you to buy something, or there's an agenda there that wants to make you weak. I've seen over the last 5 years that you become stronger, not weaker. If you retain your energy, you focus on the goals, you do things to make your life better and stronger, you use that energy in a positive way. And that's what you're looking to do. So how does this impact then people around you? Well, of course, again, women who sense your retention, they will respect you. I've seen this happen too. Even people that may not like you, they'll respect you. They'll treat you differently. They say hi to you more often. They'll focus on looking at you in a different way. Something's changed about you. You've become stronger. You're not a pushover. You can say no. You can say how you feel about things. You're not afraid to say things, and you're not afraid to stand up for yourself. Now it's a different person. So females will take you one way or the other. Sometimes they'll like that. A lot of females will. There's going to be the masculine females, and there's going to be those females who just are not at your level, who are not going to either understand it, they're going to be scared of that, or they're just going to basically just kind of push back on you, test you some more, and be at the point where they're not going to actually kind of believe or like what you're doing. They want to go back to the way it was. And so basically, they will try to get you back to the way it was. But you cannot let that happen. You've got to go ahead and say, okay, this is who I'm going to be forever. So you guys better get used to it. So from a female standpoint, they're going to either like you or dislike. So you're going to find out who really is someone who wants to be your friend. You may find new people. You may find some of the older people who are now liking and appreciate you more. That's great. From a male standpoint, you're going to get the same type of thing. You're going to get some male friends who you've had who now will get jealous, who will get upset, who will not want you to be a different person because they're used to the person you were. They became comfortable with it. They put you in a category. They could say, okay, this person was this way. This is the way I see him all the time. Now they have to go through cognitive dissonance, which means that it's something you're seeing is not going according to what you think it is. And now your mind has a shift and create a whole new pattern of thought about this person. They're going to have cognitive dissonance because you're not going to be the same person. Some people are going to hate you. Some people are going to ignore you. Some people will like you. But this all goes back to the idea is that you have a certain energy that you are communicating. And I think Harold is right. You're going to find out who the real people are who like you, who are going to support you. Because those people I have found who don't like you, who don't support you, they'll move out of your life. But those people who really are connecting with your vibe, your energy level, are going to be with you for a long, long time. And this is an important type of thing to realize because this is one of the biggest advantages and benefits of semen retention. Now, why do I say that? Well, when you look at semen retention, you're looking at something that you have 1% of the people in the world are practicing. Now, I'm seeing more and more people looking at this, so maybe we're moving up to 2% pretty soon. That's wonderful to hear. But I'll say we're still at 1% or maybe 1.5% right now. So when you're trying to achieve goals and do things, you need people. You're not going to be able to do this by yourself. No one can succeed by themselves, even if they write poetry or things like that. They need other people to sell their poetry, to do things, advertise, things like that. So you need people to be able to work with. That's when you see retention at its best. Now, yes, people are attracted to you. That's great. They may want to have romantic relationships with you. That's great too if you want that. But the biggest advantage of retention is the respect level and the opportunities you get. And we'll talk about this, about your craft, and another one of these that I saw on there. We talk about this in the idea of building your businesses, your craft, your ideas. A lot of that happens because now your frequency is at a high level and you're attracting opportunity because people see you as someone they want to spend time with. They like you. They want to spend time with you. They want to work with you, and they want to make money with you. So it's very apparent that if you practice semen retention, you're going to get people who see you a different way. They may not have seen you before like that, but as the days go on and the stronger you get, every day, guys, you're getting stronger. I'm at, 1,800 days or whatever it might be. I can't have lost track. I mean, it's almost 5 years now, something like that. Maybe it's past 5 years. But I have gotten stronger every day, and I feel it. Now, for me, it's taken a longer time because I had 47 years of nonsense back and forth. So it takes a lot of years to kind of go back the other way and create good habits from bad habits. And so I'm a 64, and so it's taken me some time. But you guys in your 20s and 30s, if you're really practicing this, you'll see the increased strength multiply. And that's the best time to do it, when you're in your 20s and 30s. Because you're going to see this. So those guys, I remind you guys in that age group. But it doesn't mean the men that I'm talking about in the 40s, 50s, and 60s can't do a tremendous job as well. Because you think about the world, guys, and there's only 1%, 1.5% of people we talk about doing this. You're going to stand out in an incredible way. And people are going to see you. And they're going to say, what is different about this person? This person is 50, 60, 64 years old, 45 years old. And they look young. They look energetic. They have an aura around. They're doing great things. I want to spend time with that person. I like that person. I want to shake their hand, give them a hug, pat on the back. I want to just be with that person. Because that energy makes them feel good because they have similar energy. And as a result of that, they're going to then have opportunities for you to succeed in the goals you want to achieve. Whether it's a romantic goal, whether it's a business goal, whether it's a spiritual goal, religious goal, all these things occur because your energy is drawing people to you. This is where the law of attraction, The Secret, that used to be put out years ago, Think and Grow Rich, The Secret of the Universe, all these books and things that have been around for hundreds of years. I know it's been more popularized lately with The Secret, but all these make sense in that realm. If you're able to focus on transmuting your energy, then your thoughts become things because of the energy. And as a result of that, you can actually then kind of look at achieving goals by using that energy instead of shooting it out and just letting it go for no reason at all. Now you're becoming stronger, and now you're trying to move that energy to achieve that goal. And now you become a stronger person because of it. You're not as bounded by, temptation or confusion or anything else because that's not affecting you anymore. You don't have the anxiety. You don't have the fear. You don't have the fear like you did. And the more you do this, the stronger you become. Now, are you going to have ups and downs? Yes, you will. You're going to be ups and downs. There's going to be times you're going to flatline, and sometimes because of this process, you're going to think, okay, I shouldn't do this. Let me just go ahead and release. I know. But the idea is that you stay with it at those times, because that's the evil one testing you. That is the evil one saying, okay, I can break you. I can make you go back the way you were. And I did that 47 years, so I understand exactly what's happening with that. So the thing is that you have to go ahead and say, I'm not going to do that ever again. I am not ever going to do that again. And if you do that, now you may break down one time and do it. But now you've set a pattern of keeping consistent, getting your thoughts away from lustful activities, thinking only in terms of how do I better myself? How do I become a better person today and the next day, and so on and so on. These are the types of things that are important to work on. Use your energy, use your mind to focus on things that you want to control, that's going to help you achieve the goals, hopefully for God's purposes and hopefully for betterment of mankind. That's the key to the thing we're talking about here. And in that sense, then, you will attract those people around you who also have those thoughts and feelings. Perhaps a lot more of the retainers. The funny thing about retainers, you don't know who retains by just word of mouth. Some people may say they do, some people don't. The proof is in the pudding, my friends. You could see a person who is retaining. How can you see that? Well, you look at their energy level. You look at their aura. You look at what they look like. They have energy. That's a person that probably, especially if they're older, that person probably is retaining. That person is probably not just letting out their energy for no reason at all. So, Harold, I think it's a great point you make, and I want to kind of comment on it because I think it's a great topic here. You will find those people who will help you succeed. Once you put your mind to a goal and where you're going to it, they will help you, because those are the people that will focus on your success like you are focusing on their success. It's a win-win because the energy is coming together and you're drawing those people in. And it's important to recognize that, because in this world we're in now, there's a lot of people who think the opposite. That's the way it should be. The opposite way is the way to go. And that's just completely, misguided because of society, because of the media, all that kind of stuff's hurting you instead of helping you. All right, my friends, I hope this helped the discussion. I enjoyed this one. I hope you guys did too. Let me know in the feedback if you did or not, and we'll pick it up at next topic pretty soon. The next one I will do, we'll talk about wet dreams. I know Knowledge Harvester had a question on that, and we'll talk about that pretty soon. All right, my friends, until next time, two things I always say to you. I hope you guys, have a great evening, but two things I always leave you with. First, every day is a new day to a wise warrior. And the reason we say that is it's the something we're talking about here. Every day you're becoming a better person. Every day you retain, and you don't even think about it. You don't even do anything to try to release, and you just kind of live your life, and you can transmute it. The better off you're going to be, and that's the key. And this is why you become wiser and wiser, because you realize you're leaving the material world behind. It's not just the releasing. It's the fact that you don't need the material things anymore. You don't need things in this world. You're actually shifting from getting out of this world to a spiritual world. That's what's happening, I think, in my opinion. And secondly, because of that, the evil one does not like this. The evil one does not like the fact that you're retaining, does not like the fact that you're seeing things for what they are, and you're seeing a spiritual world, and that you're moving towards God. See, the whole purpose, my friends, warriors, is that the evil one wants you to get away and denounce God and go to the evil one. So the more temptation, the more drugs, alcohol, all these things. And human beings think that they're invulnerable, especially when they're younger. They think there's no way the devil one's going to get me. Well, they're trapped. At that point, they're trapped. That probably should be another video we talk about. But you're trapped at that point. The key thing is to realize that Satan is coming after you all the time. The goal, Satan wants every person to denounce God and go to Satan. On the other hand, we need to go to God, because God is our creator. As we talked about, something created us, and that's important. So put your helmet on, put your arm, your chest plate on, put your shield on, and be ready to battle on! Take care, my friend. Have a great evening.